All right, legends, this is Mr. Mays, and we're going to be taking a look today through this video set of notes at some Algebra 1 concepts. Specifically, we are looking at types of solutions. So you'll see right here our topics are no solution versus infinite solution versus having maybe one solution, which is what we're used to. We're used to seeing one solution. But let's see what happens when we have many solutions, infinite solutions, and no solution. So let's take a look for no solution first. For no solution, we see this problem right here. Negative 4 times 2x plus 1 equals negative 8x minus 2. I'm going to walk through the steps and we're going to go through it together, make sure we're clear. You should start by distributing on the left side. So we're going to crack this egg open, if you will, that's in the parentheses. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times positive 1 is negative 4. And that equals negative 8x minus 2. So that's our first step. We've simplified that so far. Okay. The next thing we're going to want to do is to get all our x's on one side and all our regular numbers on the other side. So let's try that out. Let's get our x's over by adding 8x to both sides, right? Because the opposite of minus 8x is going to be positive 8x. So let's do that. But what that does is that cancels all of our 8x's. So what we're left with is negative 4 equals negative 2. And that's our answer, because you'll notice we can't really do anything else with that. And what we could do is we could add 2 to both sides or whatever, and that would be fine. We could also do, right, like equals, if we did plus 2 on both sides, we would get 0 equals negative 2. Now the question you have to ask yourself is that true? And the answer is no. Negative 2 does not equal 0, right? Negative 4 does not equal negative 2. That means no solution. So, the rules for no solution. No solutions are when the variable cancels out, right? It disappears. And what's left is wrong. Right? What's left is wrong. Negative 2 doesn't equal 0. That's no solution. Now let's take a look at infinite solutions. I'm going to do this one in red. Infinite solutions, let's start writing this out. You're going to know negative 5, negative 9x equals. We're going to crack the egg again. There's a lot of egg cracking today. 3 times 1 is 3, distributive property. 3 times negative 3x is negative 9x minus 8. Now, what are we going to do? Well, of course, we're going to add 9x to both sides to try and get the x's on the same side, but once again, they're canceling out, okay? That leaves us with negative 5 equals, bring your numbers down, 3 minus 8, right? Because these become 0 and 0, and we don't have to write those down. Now, negative 5 then equals 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Now, our variable got canceled out, it disappeared, but does negative 5 equal negative 5? Yes, and that means infinite solutions. Okay, so infinite solutions is the variable cancels and what's left is right. It's correct. Maybe I'll say it that way. What's left is correct, because otherwise it sounds like I'm talking about left or right-handed. Okay, because negative 5 does equal negative 5, that means you could plug any number in for x and you're good to go. All right, good job so far. So we're rocking and rolling. Let's take it a couple ganders here. Let's see what we can do with some of these problems. Let me walk you through how I would solve these two example problems, okay? So we have negative 6 plus 2 equals negative 6x plus 3. Let's start by adding 6x to both sides. Why? I want to get all my x's on the same side. Well, as we can already see, that equals 0 plus 2, don't forget your 2, equals 0 plus 3, don't forget your 3, which would mean that 2 equals 3. We're done. Our variables cancel, okay? And does 2 equal 3? No. So that means no solutions. Let's try it again now. Let's try it for this one below. We're going to start by cracking the egg again. Why? Because I see the parentheses and I don't want to mess around. Now, I could divide by 2 on both sides. That's another thing I could do. But let's crack the egg for now. Negative 8x, because 2 times negative 4x, minus 2 times negative 6 is 12, equals negative 8x again, because negative 2 times 4x, minus, because negative 2 times 6, negative 12. Now, you already probably noticed this, but the left looks exactly right like the right. So this is probably going the way we imagine, okay? Let's add 8x on both sides, again, to get all the x's together, but lo and behold, they cancel. That means negative 12 equals negative 12. Now, ask yourself, is that true? Our variable canceled, yes, and negative 12 does equal negative 12. So that should be infinite solutions. Perfectly done. Okay, and that's how we would do those kinds of problems. Now, one more for the cheap seats to make sure we're all on the same page. Again, what are we going to do? We're going to distribute. Just makes our life so much better. Let me get this out the way. 4 times 8x is 32x. Great practice here. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. 2 times 2x is 4x. And 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Let's get all the x's on the same side now. What are we going to do that? Well, let's subtract 4x from both sides. I think that's the easiest way. We could also subtract 32x from both sides. That would be fine. But let's do this. And 32 of something minus 4 of something leaves us with 28 of that something. And that something is x, so it's going to be 28x. Then we're going to bring our minus 4 down, equals minus 4. That's our equation right now. Now the last step is let's add 4 to both sides so we can get the value, well, second to last step. So we can get the values to be all the numbers that are not variable values on the right and all the ones that have a variable on the left. So 28x plus 0, that cancels, equals 0, because negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Final step, divide both sides by 28 so that x is alone, because right now x is multiplying by 28. That means x equals 0 over 28, which equals 0. Now, did our variable cancel? No, which means there is one solution. And that should make sense. Beautifully done. Thanks for hanging with me so far. I'm going to do 2 example problems here to get your juices flowing on this homework, and then you're going to give it a go yourself as practice. Let's start with number 3 in the first section. We're going to start, of course, as you know, by distributing. 2 times x is 2x, plus 2 times 4 is 8. I want you to notice how I show every step. 4x plus 3 minus 2x plus 5. Now, I want to get all my x's on one side. So I'm going to do that. And the way I'm going to do that is I notice there's only one x type value on the left. So I'm going to go minus 2x to cancel that. But now I got to do minus 2x on the right. So let's write it all out. Our 8 comes down. 8 equals 4x plus 3 minus 2x plus 5 minus 2x. Because remember, this minus 2x was sitting. We had to do it to that side, so it's going to come down with us. And before I do anything, let's simplify. 4 of something minus 2 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So actually we have 0 x's right now. 4x minus 2x is 2x. Minus 2x again is 0. So we can already just say 3 plus 5 equals 8. And this becomes, these all cancel out to 0. So we have 8 equals 3 plus 5. Well, 3 plus 5 does equal 8. So 8 equals 8. And what you should be saying is, I canceled my variable, and I'm right. What is left is correct. So that means infinite solutions. Infinite solutions. Okay, so that's that one done. And then let me try this final one with us, number 4, which looks wild. Let's give it the old go. Let's start with green. 3x minus 13 equals, let's distribute, but we're going to distribute twice because we're just that wild. 7 times x is 7x, plus 7 times 2 is 14. Negative 4, remember to treat this like one thing. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 7 is, a negative times a negative is a positive 28. Now, again, let's see if we can get all our x's on the same side. I'm going to do minus 3x from both sides so that I can cancel the x's from the left. So I have now negative 13 equals 7x plus 14 minus 4x plus 28 minus 3x. Okay? And all of these 7x minus 4x minus 3x give us 0x, because 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So we have negative 13 equals 14 plus 28. Okay? That means negative 13 equals 42. My math is correct, and that is it, and that is incorrect, and that means no solution. Our variable canceled, but we know that this is not true. Okay, I hope that's been a help. Be sure to practice and get the rest of your stuff done, and I'm very proud of you. This is Mr.